Alright, welcome back. I forget where I left off in the last video, but I believe I mentioned that I still had to sand, fill, and stain the body of the ship. Because I did jump ahead a little bit, and I started putting the deck planks on. I feel like I shouldn't do that or complete that until I've got everything else stained and in place. That being said, I did get the hull sanded, filled, and yeah, I'm pleased with it. I'm very happy with it. I hope that's showing up on camera. Let me bring another light down here. There we go. I'm very pleased with it. I'm going to go ahead and stain it, since I don't know that I can do much more sanding. So that'll be the next step, obviously, again, is staining. And then I've dug out the parts that I need for the next steps. Now, this is getting complicated because none of these are numbered. And I get it, it's wood, but most of the kits I've done like this, these cheaper kits, most of the sheets have a number or letter on them somewhere. This one does, for instance. The big one here on the bottom, it's actually labeled A. So, in theory, it shouldn't be too difficult to figure out what parts I need off this sheet, but it's the only one that has any kind of identification on it. So, at least cursory examination says that's the only one. But I am at this point here, technically. This is going to be the large sort of cabin area that'll sit on the back of the boat back here and wrap around. I also found, and I questioned this early on, under here there's meant to be some details like a door, things like that. Turns out it comes with that part as well. That's this one here. Now, it comes with this. It also comes with a door that goes on, that you glue on top of that. That's going to be on this sheet. That's the door. And it also comes with little windows that go over these windows, over these openings right there. Now that presents an interesting I guess modification if I really felt like doing it. In theory, I could open up this section here, this compartment, by simply pulling this deck off. Now that does mean snapping the glue that's already dried and risking damaging it. I may give that a try because I think I'd like to actually... I'd like to have the door open with an opening behind it that looks in. Now, not necessarily to any great detail. Maybe a little, table or some chairs or something. It's just something that I don't know. I like the idea of the door being wide open, but if it's wide open, then you got to think about, well, if it's wide open, shouldn't there be something behind it, or should it be black so that it gives the appearance that it's just a dark room that you can't see in. Same thing goes for the windows. Now let me find that sheet again. The windows are open. So you put over the opening, you put over these window frames here with the lattice work, which is really nice looking. The problem I have with that is, again, it's going to be looking into basically a black background. Again, it's not the end of the world, but do I want to take that extra step and create a room inside here? I'm going to give that a shot. I'm going to open it up, see what it looks like inside. I feel like there's a lot of framing in there, so I'm not sure that's a good idea. But if I pull that off, it at the very least will give me the opportunity to fit this part properly without trying to wedge it up underneath here and create all kinds of problems for myself. So I'm going to pull that piece off, and we will be right back. Okay, so I was able to pry this deck off with minimal damage, mostly to the underside, so I'm not all that concerned. But basically that just fits right back on like that. Now, what this offers me is the opportunity to see what's inside. Now again, I'm not going to try cutting all this crap out to try and create a room that doesn't need to be there when I just needed to access so that I could fit this piece in there without the deck being in the way. So we'll go ahead, we'll cut this piece out, we'll fit it, and we'll see what we look like from there. Okay, I jumped ahead a little bit. Trying to remember where we left off. I think I'd mentioned something about staining. I did decide to wait on staining because I wanted to make sure that I got as much on the boat. I didn't want to stain part of it today and then put the rest of it together and then have to stain the rest of it another day. So this way, I can stain it all at once. I did glue together this part. Of course, this is what goes here. It'll go up here. I still have to stain it and paint the... I'm going to paint the lattice work inside the windows white. I'm also going to put some clear plastic on the inside of each window, as is recommended by the instructions, of course. It gives it more of a glass window look, and that's why I do have clear plastic to do that with, so I just have to get at it. But I want to paint everything first before I do that. I also did this part. This is the bit that goes on the back of the boat. Let me bring the boat around and I'll show you. So we got the boat here. This will actually go mounted on here, and that will be more or less like the captain's quarters or whatever. It's together. It is complete, solid. Wasn't real difficult. I have to admit though, this piece here, because it's curved, was a bit of a struggle. Also, I framed out all of it with some pieces of wood because it didn't have that, didn't call for that in the instructions. So you had a lot of tabs and a lot of bare spaces. I think that fills it out real nice. So there's one more thing to do to this, but I gotta wait till it's installed before I do it, and that is to put like a roof on here. The instructions don't say how to do it. They just say that it can be done with filler. I don't know what that means. I'm going to put like a wooden slatted roof on it. I won't try to explain because I obviously I'm not going to be able to. I won't make it clear. But when I get to that, I think it should look pretty good. But that has to wait till this is actually glued onto the boat. What else? I think that's it. I do apologize I didn't record any of this. Honestly, I got in such a groove, and then I frankly just forgot all about recording the progress. But I did realize it before I glued this onto the boat. I didn't want to do that first. I am going to have to stain this first and then paint the lattice work white so that I could put in the plastic for the windows. So that'll be next. So I'm going to get this stained up and get this stained up first so that we can finish these off. So hopefully I'll do that. Hopefully we'll have that done by the time we come back. Alright, welcome back. I believe the last thing we talked about was doing some staining on some of the parts. I did jump ahead a little bit. Frankly, again, I got into a groove and I just started going. I got the sides all the way up, completely paneled, planked. All of the Canon port window things are all framed. I still have to sand that from about here up. All needs to be sanded down, and smoothed, of course. I also installed this back here. This is, I don't know what they call it. Bring this around so you can see it. Not a lot of room on the desk. You see what I mean about size. Looks pretty good. I'm pleased with it. I'm starting to put the roof on. I went with a sort of a shingled or a tiled look. It's rough, but that's basically what it's going to look like. So that's where we are at the moment. The next step, after I've got all of this sanded and smoothed, I'm going to stain it. I think I'm ready for that. I got all the seams filled that I wanted filled down here. I might have to do a little bit up here, I'm not sure. I still have to plank this part back here. That'll be easy enough. A piece of advice, if you bought this kit and you're building it, save all of your scraps and your cutoffs. Like that. The reason is because it does not come with very much extra wood. I have exactly 2 strips left, full-size strips of plank wood. These are actually meant to go along the hull as sort of accent pieces like that. So I have exactly the 2 left that I need for that. After finishing the planking up here with mostly cutoffs and scraps, I was left with this and these 2. So I have just enough wood to do excuse me, the main planking. I don't think I'll have enough of this to do this bit back here. So I'm going to have to use some of the wood that I have from other kits or other projects. It won't be the same wood. I don't really care. Save your scraps. It's vitally important because you're gonna be scrounging for wood later. And again, I don't think it matters if I use this wood or if I use this. I've got tons and tons of this. This is basically, it's basically the same kind of wood that you would use that would come in, say, popsicles and things, but it's made for craft. It's cut off already. It's narrow. So I actually have a lot of this wood. I got it somehow. I forget now. I either bought it or I got it from someone. Boxes of it. And I thought this would be great just as planking, you know. But I never got around to using it. Well, now I'm starting to use it because I don't have enough of this wood, of the wood that came with the kit. Now, this is a nice soft wood. It's pliable. This is much harder, like popsicle stick wood. But for straight bits, like the framing around the cannon ports, that's what I used for those. For straight bits like that, this stuff works great. Now, it's not the same wood. When I stain it, will it look different? Don't know. It's a risk I was willing to take, given that this kit didn't come with any extra spare, bits of plank wood. So that's my advice to you. If you're doing this kit, save your cutoffs. Very important. You're going to need them. I think that's it. not a lot left to talk about. The next video, I'm hoping to have it stained already, and the roof on above here. And then we can continue on with things like some of the railings and deck details, the floor planking. It's coming along. I'm very, very pleased. It looks great. So I think that's it, and thanks for watching.